There are two tigers. One came from this side, one came from that side. Look at the size of the paw. That single horn on its nose, made not of bone, but of keratin. A pair of hog deer. Hog means big. Interesting, isn't it? Under India's Schedule 1 protection, just like tigers and rhinos, this turtle is safeguarded. Perhaps the same tiger made a kill, whose pug marks we have trailed, and the one the guard confirmed last night.
ये देखो, ये है मेरी हाइट और ये घास की हाइट। यहाँ से टाइगर निकल गया है, तो मैं क्या कर लूँगा?
If the forest creeps in unchecked, this grassland disappears, and with it, the creatures that depend on it. Below us, the grassland ripples like a restless sea. From this height, it looks endless, beautiful, but also deceiving. It's 5 a.m. in Orang. The forest hides behind a veil of fog, showing nothing, yet promising everything. The birds stir, but the jungle still lies in half dreams.
क्या नाम है साहब अपना?
हबीबुर रहमान।
हबीबुर रहमान।
No signboards, no guarantees. Just a road that could lead to grass or to something greater. Joining us today is Pranjit, the man, the myth, the legend. He knows these forests by memory. What we call a dirt road or a tiger, this is his kingdom. A path where he strolls. Come see from the front. There are two tigers. One came from this side, one came from that side. Look at the size of the paw. Drive ahead slowly, please. Let's go. The proof of tiger's presence is written in the soil. Not one, but two sets of pug marks. This patch of ours, up till there. This one. Here we have pygmy hawk. 2011 data shows a population of 15. Between 2011 and 2015, the population then was 59. Now, their population is approximately 150. Where did they come from? Manas? Yes, indeed, Manas. But right now their steady growth is only in Orang. I promise we will discuss more about pygmy hawks later in the video. But for now, a special thank you to the 66 subscribers of this channel. Thank you everyone for walking this wild road with me. Every like, every comment helps the YouTube algorithm notices small creators like me. If you're watching, consider leaving your footprints too. We see hog deers ahead. The fog is thinning and the first light lands on one of them like a small blessing, while the other stays partially in the shade and glowing like gold by the filtered sunlight from the leaves. He is busy picking leaves, while this one is on guard. And this one, he has a ring of mosquitoes which are humming above his ears.
जिसको बोलते हैं ना कि रियल जंगल, वो है ये जंगल। एमपी में डिफरेंट है इसका। यहाँ पर पूरा एनिमल से पूरा आपको वाइल्ड है। यहाँ पे पूरा वाइल्ड एनिमल।
Right behind the tree line, a giant emerges, the one-horned rhinoceros. He lifts his head, acknowledges our presence, and then returns to grazing. A grazer of epic skill, an adult rhino can consume nearly 40 kilos of grass a day.
ये है उसका कॉरिडोर।
That single horn on its nose, made not of bone but of keratin, the same substance as our hair and nails, grows steadily through life. They may appear calm, absorbed in their routine, but their composure is never a promise. A snort, a stiff ear, a sudden lift of the head. These are the preludes to a charge that can erupt without warning. Up ahead in the distance, from giants to the grazer of a different kind, the wild boar. He digs into the wet soil, quite farmers of the wild.
पीछे पीछे देखो पीछे देखो रास्ता क्रॉस कर रहे हैं आप इस में
Pranjit signals, look back, and the same rhino was crossing through its corridor. Beyond their strength and temperaments lies their deeper story. Do you know? Rhinos are ancient survivors. Their lineage stretches back 50 million years, just after the dinosaurs vanished. In many ways, they are living fossils, relics of a wilder earth.
ये जो वाटर बॉडी कितनी गहरी हो गई है?
अब घंटे पानी कम है कितना होगा 10 फीट
The fog clings to the water and plants float like scattered thoughts. In our previous video, in this very stretch, we saw a herd of elephants feeding like kings of the floodplain. But today, the river seems to be hiding its secrets. The fog lifts just enough to reveal a quiet pool of water. See those silhouettes, river fishers. They sit low on the water, then vanish like stones, and pop up where the fish don't expect them. A few circle overhead, as if reading and riding the wind. The trees close in, shadows deepen. We are on the trail of tiger pair whose pug marks we followed. And perhaps they're already watching us. And then we saw another hog deer. But this time, with the red bambox flower between its jaws. This one does not vanish. It pauses, then walks across the track right before our eyes. No panic, no rush, just a quiet claim to the road. Strange, isn't it? In a place ruled by predators, why does the smallest step of a deer feel like such a privilege to witness? Because this is wild of Assam, and every being is a precious one. The tires humming over mud and stone. In stretches like these, silence is not empty, it's layered. The rustle of grass, the distant cry of a bird, the unseen stir of something moving away before we even arrive. Orang may look small on a map, but every bend hides a possibility, and sometimes the weight itself is the wildest part. A pair of hog deer. Hog means big. Interesting, isn't it? So why is this species called the hog deer? Its first scientific description was given in 1777 by Zimmerman. Later, in the 1830s, Brian Hutton Hodgson described its behavior in detail. He observed that when this deer runs, it keeps its head down and moves straight, just like a wild boar, not leaping like other deer, and that's how the name hog deer came to stay. In these jungles, that very habit makes them vulnerable, a perfect prey for a predator built to ambush. Perched on a single vine, the kingfisher looks like a jewel pinned to the jungle. And then, slow as a dream, the kingfisher takes flight, a splash of blue against the still canvas of green, gone in a heartbeat. We are gliding beside water thick with lilies and drifting plants. These wetlands are part of a living floodplain, channels that swell with monsoon water. This is an oriental darter, also known as snakehead bird, still as a reed. Then a sudden shake, the droplets fall. And strange, isn't it, how something so small can redraw the whole face of the water. The snakebird breaks the mirror of the water. Its body uncoils, wings slice open the fog, and each ripple it leaves behind expands like an echo of flight. In slow motion, what looks like escape feels more like ascension. Basking in the sun, a giant of the grasslands, the black-necked stork, pauses to preen, polishing its elegance feather by feather. And not very far, the darter opens its wings to the sun, drying feathers like pages left out after the rain.
अच्छा यहाँ पे टाइगर्स के नाम नहीं है राइट? नंबर है बस, नाम नहीं है।
वही नाम है।
जैसे बाकी जगह तो नाम दे देते हैं।
जहाँ पर नाम इतना सारा टाइगर का नाम है, इस मतलब वही यही नाम है। लास्ट बाघ को नहीं देखा वैसा।
बाघ तो अभी देखा बना।
काली?
काली देखा बना।
तो मेल है कि फीमेल है?
The guard tells us he has seen a tiger yesterday. We didn't see any sign here, but with the pug marks we crossed not too far back and his assurance, the tiger might still be close. So we roll on and the search continues. We are chasing tiger pug marks, but the jungle has its own way. It only shows you what you're meant to see, and this time it revealed something even rarer. The Tricarinate Hill Turtle, an endangered traveler of the eastern Himalayas, with sightings reported only rarely. Imagine, this species was first discovered in 1831. In Orang Tiger Reserve, the last published survey was done in 2009 and 2012, and since then, records of sightings have almost vanished. Under India's Schedule 1 protection, just like tigers and rhinos, this turtle is safeguarded. So rare that even herpetologists spend years searching for the forests for a glimpse. And today, the jungle itself gave us that chance. It revealed a treasure, a hidden gem of Orang. In the distance, kite wheels over a tight knot of elephant grass. Patterns like these aren't random. Where birds hover, something stirs. Perhaps the same tiger made a kill, whose pug marks we have trailed and the one the guard confirmed last night. But the jungle road ends here. And again, the tiger stays unseen. This is the same open expanse we stood at yesterday. But today, under a clearer sky, it looks different. The same canvas, yet a new painting. In the foreground, the deer scatter and regroup, and further back, a rhino is grazing steadily. The grass itself becomes the part of the drama, each stalk swaying in rhythm, hiding and revealing life at the same time. For a moment, you can almost believe the grassland is breathing. There are wild boars enjoying the winter sun. Dozens of bodies scattered like brushstrokes across the field. Every one of them alert, connected, listening to something we cannot yet see. A solitary stork holds its ground and walks gracefully on this velvet carpet of grass. These small moments fill the silence, telling their own stories. Yesterday, this view was wrapped in mist, mysterious, almost secretive. Today, the light exposes it all, but it doesn't make it any less mysterious. In Orang, even when everything is visible, the most important thing remains hidden. So we pause here again, not because the animals have changed, but because the story they tell is never the same. In these tall grasslands, spotting an animal is never easy. And for a tiger whose gift is camouflage, this is a perfect hunting ground. Pranjit shared more about Orang's secrets. He explained how these grasslands are not just feeding grounds for deer and rhinos, but also nurseries for countless birds that nest low among the stems. He told us that the grass, though it looks unbroken, actually hides small clearings and channels.
It travels. वो फॉल्ट वर्स यहाँ से ट्रैवल करता है टाइगर अंदर की तरफ जाता है. देखिए यहाँ से कितना मुश्किल किसी को देख पा रहा है.
Pathways that tigers and elephants have used for generations. What struck me most was his reminder that Orang may be one of the smallest tiger reserves in India, but it holds some of the densest and most fragile wildlife populations anywhere. Every patch of grass you see could be a shelter. Every bend in the track could be an ambush point.
This is the tiger territory. This is wild. This is
And just
Assam.
when the road began to feel endless, the grass opened up slightly, revealing a quiet water body glistening on our right. I followed birds' flight through my lens, when out of the corner of my eye, the Bengal floricans rose from the grass.
বেঙ্গল ফ্লোরিগান হ্যাঁ বেঙ্গল ফ্লোরিগান এটা বহিয়েছিল.
And just like Manas, once again, they slipped away. I saw them, but the camera did not. A lone stalk stands tall, a dead fish at its feet. A reminder that in this landscape, every catch can turn into another's meal. Each bird plays its part, scavenger, singer, or watcher, stitching together the rhythm of Orang's wetland. Here even the smallest wing beat adds. At times when the jungle keeps quiet, desperation mode kicks in, and I asked not a very smart question.
अभी आगे कहीं टाइगर का एरिया है. हाँ आगे टाइगर का एरिया है कहीं पे. हाँ टाइगर सब जगह पे मिलता है ऐसा. ओके.
A wild boar trots across the road, pausing just long enough to remind me whose home this really is before vanishing into the thickets. The jeep crawls ahead, dwarfed by the walls of elephant grass rising higher than us. This is Tigerland, but the tall blades make it nearly impossible to see. A tiger could be crouched a few steps away and we would pass without ever knowing. Here in Orang, the rhythm of sightings follows a cycle of controlled burning. Once the grass dries, the forest staff sets fire to selected patches, and within days, fresh green shoots return, irresistible to deer, hogs, and other animals. But right now, this patch remains unburned, and the odds are stacked against us. But that's the way of the jungle. As I always say, the jungle doesn't show you what you want. It shows you what you are meant to see. Here in this small area of tall grassland lives another secret that almost vanished from the planet. The pygmy hog, barely the size of a house cat, yet the rarest pig in the world. Orang, along with Manas, is one of their last refuges, a fragile kingdom. I stood up on my seat, rose higher to film, and even then the grass stretched above us like walls. Even a full-grown elephant vanishes inside it. Now imagine a tiger moving through, invisible until the very last step. On this stretch of road, the tiger leaves a different kind of sign.
और इसमें भी मुकुल मरा हुआ.
Look closer at the tree. Deep claw marks etched into the bark. Not a day's work, but fresh enough to remind us that this is still his ground. Tigers sharpen their claws, mark their territory, and leave a warning in plain sight. For us, it's yet another reminder he is somewhere around us, somewhere close, even if unseen. The jeep moves straight down the track, leading us towards the watchtower ahead. Soon, we will leave the ground level and will see the forest as a whole, the vast grasslands, and the secret paths that only height can reveal. Down here, we only catch fragments, but from up there, the jungle might reveal the whole picture.
ये देखो, ये मेरी हाइट और ये घास की हाइट। यहाँ से टाइगर निकल भी आए तो मैं क्या कर लूँगा? और ऊपर चलते हैं।
Orang stretches in every direction, almost a full circle of wild. Below us, the grassland ripples like a restless sea. From this height, it looks endless, beautiful, but also deceiving. The same grass that feeds deer, rhinos, and elephants also swallows tigers whole. Even when a predator is close, a single step inside that cover is enough to erase it from our sight. This tower should give us an advantage, but here, the jungle plays by its own rules. And that's why, despite Orang holding a healthy number of tigers, sightings are rare. From up here, we see everything, and yet, perhaps the most important thing is what we still cannot see. These trees lying on ground aren't signs of destruction, but of protection. If the forest creeps in unchecked, this grassland disappears, and with it, the creatures that depend on it. Orang is one of the last strongholds of the true tall grass wilderness, and every cut stem you see here is part of that fight to keep it alive. This grassland is one of the last refuge for the rarest pygmy hog. First described in 1847 by naturalist Brian Houghton Hudson, pygmy hogs once lived across the Himalayan foothills from Nepal to Bhutan, through Bengal and Assam. But as tea plantations spread, farms expanded and grasslands were burned without care, their world shrank. By the 1960s, scientists believed they were gone forever, extinct. And then, in 1971, a miracle. They were rediscovered here in Assam's Bernadi Sanctuary. From that moment, a new chapter began. The pygmy hog conservation program started in the 1990s, bred them in captivity, and slowly reintroduced them into the wild. But even today, fewer than 400 remain, all of them in Assam, and all of them holding on to survival inside grasslands like Orang. It's humbling to think this tiny animal, barely a foot high, carries the weight of survival on its back. To save it, we must save the grasslands themselves. And with that thought, our journey through Orang comes to a close. Tonight, we leave for Kaziranga to be ready for the morning safari in the land of the great one-horned rhinoceros. If you have enjoyed this journey, do like, share, and subscribe. It really helps a small channel like mine reach more people and tells YouTube's algorithm that these wild stories are worth spreading. The more you support, the more voices of the forest can be heard. And remember, no matter what, let's wander together in this journey of wandering wild with Anshuman. Until next time, good evening, good night from Orang.